Why don't you stay in your parents' house till you marry? Did I come and tell you I want to marry? Hey guys, so I'm not too well. So this video is going to be calmer than my previous videos. I know my previous videos are a bit calm. My sit down videos are a bit calm, but I'm not so well. So it's going to be calmer than my previous videos. But today I'm going to be addressing a couple of comments I got and answering a couple of questions I got from the video I did 3 weeks ago. I'm going to address the comments first and then I move to the questions. One of the comments I got is, you are a very young girl. Why don't you stay in your parents' house till you marry? Why do you have to stress looking for an apartment? Funny thing is, after I got this comment, I don't know what happened, but the person deleted it. I don't know if it's YouTube that took it down or the person deleted it. So it's no longer in my comment section, but I screenshotted it before I didn't find the comments again. So I still have it here. I'm going to post it somewhere so you guys can see the comments. I want to address these comments because I feel like a couple of people have this mindset, but it's just this person that had, like, I don't want to say had a boss to come and write it under my comments, because I mean I can't do anything to the person, but it's just this person that was able to comment this under my video. So I'm going to address this comment. First off, you're a very young girl. Yes, I am a very young girl, but I feel like people always think I'm younger because of how I look, because I look like a very young person. Like, I look younger than my age. So people always think I'm younger than my age, but I will be 31 this year in August. I think, are we in August? Okay, we're not in August yet, but I'll be 31 this year. So maybe I might be a very young girl, but I'm not younger than 31, if that's what you're thinking. Why don't you stay in your parents' house till you marry? This is what busts my brain. Parents' house till I marry. I feel like everybody has preferences and what works for them. I always say this, it's something that works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. You can't force what works for you on me. It doesn't work like that. I'm not going to stay in there's no parents, it's my mom. My mom is a single mother, so I'm not going to stay in my mom's house till I get married because I don't want to. And here's the reason. Usually I wouldn't explain myself to anybody, especially to the internet, because I feel like no matter how much you explain, the people that want to understand will understand. Those that don't want to understand won't understand. So it's even a waste of time. But let me break this down to you. It's 4 of my siblings, my cousin, and my niece. So that makes 6 children and 1 mother. So this is the living condition of my mom's place. And sometimes when people watch my videos and make certain comments, I wonder if they watch my videos without the sound, or they watch my videos without my voiceover. Because I've asked somebody this on TikTok before, that did you actually watch my video without the voiceover? Because I feel like it's something I said in the video. I already stated that I can't thrive in a crowded space. When I say crowded, I mean more than 2 people. I can't do anything. I'm not productive because I grew up locking myself in a room anytime something was going on with me. When I was growing up, my mom wasn't in the country. My mom was with my dad, wherever they were. She wasn't in the country. She wasn't in Ghana. So I grew up with my uncles and my grandma. This is not even something I'm supposed to be talking about, but I'm going to. So it's like anytime something happened, my uncles had a way of training us that wasn't too kind. Let me just put it like that. I'm not going to explain further. It wasn't too kind. It was just a bit harsh. So anytime something happened and then we were being corrected or being punished, when everything is done, I go and hide in a room all by myself. Like, I have to be there. If I have to cry, I cry. Whatever I have to do to make myself feel all right, I do that. So I stay in a room alone. I cry for hours, or sometimes I just sleep. And then when I'm okay, I come outside. This is how I grew up. After I even grew up like this, even when my mom came to the country and she decided to come and live with us and leave my dad there, whatever it is, when she came into the country, she got used to me being like this, in the sense that even when visitors come around, they always have to call me to come out of the room to come and say hi to people. It was recently that I actually got to know that I have social anxiety. I don't like too many people. I can't thrive in an environment that has too many people. Anytime you've seen me in a crowd full of people, or you've seen me actively being in the midst of people is because I literally had to psych myself for that. Anytime I have to make it to a program, I have to make it to an event. That's why I tell people to give me early notice before they invite me for an event or a program. I have to psych myself to be there, to not feel awkward, to not be anxious before I can be in that crowd. I can't thrive in a space that has more than 3 people there. I can't do anything there. And I'm a food content creator, I'm a UGC creator, and I create YouTube content as well. How am I going to be able to do all these things in a space that has about 4 people? I don't understand how I'm going to. I can't. I literally can't. Because sometimes you need your own space to be able to do certain things. If I don't have my own space, there are so many contents I have created that I wouldn't have been able to create. And plus, I also just like the freedom of going out and coming back and not disturbing anybody's coming, open the gates for you, and not calling my big sister when I have to come home from her sleep and all of that. I really, really just like the freedom of having your own keys and entering your house on your own. We're in 2023. Please keep up. Come on. So, are you going to comment under everybody's video, every creator's video that is looking for an apartment or that has rented and is living alone, that they should live in their parents' house till they get married? What makes you think I even want to get married in the first place? That's the thing. And it's really, really annoying that Africans, or where we come from, they think everybody is supposed to get married. Like, not everybody's supposed to get married. Some people are actually not going to get married, and they are very, very fine with that. There's nothing wrong with them. They are not about to die. They are not lonely. They are not crying every night. They are fine. Some people are fine living alone. So please, before you comment these things under people's videos, I feel like it is right to ask that, do you prefer living alone? Or maybe do you think living alone is the right thing for you to do? Or why do you prefer living alone? Than writing, why don't you live in your parents' house? Or maybe you should ask that, do you want to get married, before you make these comments? Than coming to write, why don't you stay in your parents' house till you marry? Did I come and tell you I want to marry? First off, did I come and tell you I want to marry? Let me just move away from these comments because it's actually pissing me off and I don't want to be upset because I'm already not feeling well. Then the second comment I have to address says, you're very superstitious. What's wrong with the house that has been inhabited by someone else? As long as it's been painted and kept to perfection. African people and superstitions. Anyways, a mind thing. This person, I'll actually like have time to break it down for you so you understand what I meant by I'm never renting a space that somebody has lived in before, and I still stand by it. I don't care what you think. It is your own problem. Let me start explaining from the parts where it's not just spiritual to me, the parts where it is actually physical. Let me start with gadgets, phones, laptops, whatever gadgets it is, headphones, whatever it is, watches. I would never buy a used phone, a used laptop, a used watch. If you're my friend, you know this. You know, every time I want to buy like a gadget, I'm always doing, please, I won't unbox it myself. I want the seal on it. I want to break the seal. Because I've had a couple of experiences where I decided to bend my own rules and it went against me. Let me explain. Growing up, I mean, I didn't have enough money to be buying things that were new or very expensive, because usually new things are very expensive. So I didn't have enough money. So I was always buying maybe a used phone or a used laptop or something. So I think the first 2 phones I used after GSS, that was when I was in SS or something, were used phones. And see, the way I suffered with those phones, I feel like people are not honest about the times they use certain stuff. That's why I wouldn't buy a used phone, a used whatever it is. I just won't buy it. If my money is not reaching the brand new product I want to buy, I just won't buy it. I would wait and save up till I'm able to buy whatever I want to buy, because I feel like anytime somebody has to sell something or somebody has to give something out, it's because it has a problem. Because anytime I had to sell maybe a phone or a laptop or something, it's because it was giving me a specific problem I was tired of dealing with. I can remember my very, very first iPhone. That iPhone was giving me so many problems. I had to sell it. If I'm going to buy anything that's even used, I ask the person that, what is the problem with this thing? Sometimes they are reluctant to tell you, and then sometimes they open up to you. So I know what I'm going in for. So I decided to bend my rule. That was when I had my food shed. I decided to buy an iPhone. I think it was an XS Max or something. I don't know how to pronounce that thing, but yeah, one of those phones. See, that was the worst time of my life. That phone, the person told me it was 2 weeks used. That was a blatant lie. I don't even know why I believed. See, that phone gave me so much problems than I had ever like experienced using any other phone. It gave me so much problems. I had to sell that phone after a month of using it. And then now I had to go and look for more money because I had to buy a brand new phone. And I was like, see, if I had just saved that money, I could have just topped up a little bit to get a brand new phone. And that's just what works for me. Again, everything I'm saying is what works for me. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't believe in that, that is your own problem to deal with. Please don't come and force your beliefs on me. Please, let's respect ourselves. Now let's move to the apartment bit. Like I said, apart from the fact that it's spiritual, it's also fiscal. Let's just take this, my last place, for example, that I decided to still rent the place even after the guy had told me one person lived there. Apparently, three people were living in the building and I didn't even know about it. And the problem I'm facing was actually a problem that they used to face before I went into the building and I didn't know about it. So you see how when I moved out, they got a mason to come and fix the window, whatever it is, and then plaster the thing. Meanwhile, the problem is still there, and repaint the apartments for it to still look new and what he said. What if it looks new and painted and kept to perfection? And I thought there was no problem with it, and I still went ahead to rent it. That's how somebody else would come and rent the same space that has been painted and kept to perfection and think there's no problem with it. And then they'll be facing the problem I was facing. So that's what works for me. I'm not renting an apartment somebody has lived in because I feel like the person is moving out of that apartment because of a specific reason. Every time I watch my friends rent an apartment that somebody lived in, there was always a problem in the first month. It didn't even have to take long. In the first month, second month, they always figured out what the problem was. So every time I'm going to rent an apartment and then they say it's not new and I think I can consider renting, I ask the person, why did the old person move out of the apartment? 90% of the time, they're just going to lie to me. Oh, now we need a transfer. And the person had to move out because the person got a transfer to another town. Lies. So it's not like I'm being superstitious. It's just me going through these things and learning from experience. Usually, when I'm saying something I would never do, is because I've experienced it before. And then I'm talking out of experience. I don't just open my mouth and start talking and saying I would never rent an apartment because somebody has lived in it because for shaggy reasons. No, I'm talking out of experience. So please, like I said, it works for me. I'm not going to rent an apartment that somebody has lived in before. I would never buy a gadget that somebody has used before. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. Don't come and force your beliefs on me. And don't come and write all these things. And after that, you write is a mind thing. It is not a mind thing. It is something I have been through before. And it's something I don't want to go through again. Because every single time I bended my rules, I remembered why I made those rules in the first place. So yeah, I'm done addressing these comments. Let's move to the questions. So somebody asked how I got my place so fast when I posted it on my Snapchat. So when I was moving out of my old place, luckily for me, I had this friend that had rented a 3-bedroom house that I was giving updates to. She basically wanted to help me rent another space because I was telling her how frustrated I was and how I wasn't finding another place and all of that. But she had rented a 3-bedroom house. I literally just asked her if I could rent one of her rooms for some months and then figure out my next move because I needed to be somewhere to figure out what I'm doing next. So I rented the space for some months and yeah, it's been like very peaceful so far. I don't have any problems. I thought living with a housemate was going to be problematic, but it's really, really not. I'm going to go into details in another video after I've stayed for like 2 months. I've stayed here for like a month. So after I stay for like 2 months, I feel like I'll be more experienced to give my view on what it's like living with a housemate in Accra, Ghana. But so far, so good. It's been very, very unproblematic living with a housemate. So yeah, that's the space I'm staying in now. And that's how I got it. Yeah, the person to ask what app did I use to look for the space. Again, I didn't use any app. I rented it out from my friend. And if the space was expensive, yes, it was expensive, but my friend was very, very kind to give it to me at a very affordable rate. And I'll be always thankful to her for that, because I was very, very stranded. I didn't know what to do, and then she helped me out. So yes, it was expensive, but she gave it to me at a very affordable price, like a price I could afford to rent for. And somebody else asked if I could give them my agent's number. I've seen like about 3 different people comment that under my videos, and honestly speaking, I can't give you my agent's number because the agent didn't even do the work he was supposed to do, and I don't want you to stress. I would be a very, very bad person to make any recommendations. I'm really, really sorry I can't give you my agent's number. But if you're looking for a space in Accra and you have a friend that has a car, or you have a car, that can be very, very helpful. You can just drive around and ask. Maybe if you see a new building, you ask questions. Ask anybody, the foreman, the person that's taking care of the building, anybody on that property. You can just ask if they're renting the space. If not, you ask them if they know any space that's for rent around. If you don't think you should use an agent or you should use the GG app, you can just drive around and ask. That can be helpful too, because I know a couple of my friends that have found spaces just by driving around and asking questions and asking people around if there's any space to rent. You can also ask your friends that have rented apartments in Accra how they got their apartments. You can ask them for their agents. You can ask them to ask their landlords. Usually, these landlords have friends that are also renting apartments in Accra, and they can recommend you to someone. So you literally just have to ask questions to get the space you want in this Accra, because it's crazy if you're going to be using agents all the time. Most of these agents just want their viewing fee, and that's it. They don't even care if you get the space or not. And I'm just hoping it works out for you. I'm going to end this video here. I don't think I answered all the questions, because some of these questions were questions people asked me across different social media platforms. So I sorry if I haven't answered your question, or if I have forgotten the question you asked. Please ask in the comment section on YouTube so I can find these questions anytime I want to answer them. I'm also going to be telling you guys how it is like living with a housemate in Accra, Ghana. That's going to be a different video after I have stayed here for 2 months. I've stayed here for 1 month so far, and it's been good. So far, so good. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are on the road to 1K, guys. You guys should get me to 1K subscribers, and I will definitely do a giveaway when we get to 1K subscribers. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in another video. Mwah.